Could you please welcome Deborah with her speech, Evolving, Deborah.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Good evening, everybody. Starting out, a very quiet, shy, inconspicuous infancy, and evolving into an enthusiastic, definitive and quite gregarious maturity. Many people would say that my life has become, well, polar opposites really, compared to what they were. I was born in England. I won't tell you what year, because that's part of the conversation with the table talks earlier, and I don't want to lie tonight. So I was born in England, and I was the daughter, sorry, I should say the youngest daughter of 5 children. I wondered at a very early age of what my life was going to turn out to be. We all have great expectations for ourselves, and we think that one day we're going to be famous, one day we're going to be rich. Well, as you can see, I'm neither, but that doesn't matter because there's still plenty of time. I had a very troubled childhood, I would say. I was a fragile, skinny young girl, open to a lot of bullying, targeted as bullying, by bullies I should say as a child. But I overcame that problem, and as I grew up, I decided that I would be strong and encourage others to be helpful and good to other people. And at the age of 12, I decided to start volunteering for things, and I started volunteering as a recorder coach at school, and for the troubled children also at my school. I also started up a social network at lunchtimes, and that was my way of giving a little bit back to the community. Now, over the years, I've volunteered in various positions. Many of them have been through involving children in schools. Before I had any children of my own, I would go out to schools and do reading recovery, which I'm sure many of you as parents here would have done, or at least are aware of. I also helped out assisting in the classroom activities. And as time went on, I started getting involved in parents' and friends associations, college councils, and I've been on various committees over the years. I've been the school council president of my children's secondary college now for 9 years, even though my youngest left school 2 years ago. I've remained in that volunteering capacity, and I've got a lot out of volunteering. And I think a lot of people nowadays tend to rely too much on other people standing up and doing jobs for them. So I think it's very good to encourage young children now coming up through the years to actually get out there and volunteer. So what I've actually done as of yesterday, it's been approved by our school council, is to sponsor into perpetuity a volunteerism award at our college. And that's something that I'm going to be sponsoring, so that every child at school who volunteers in the community will be able to apply or actually be chosen as part of the volunteerism award. And what I wanted it to do, and this is what we're planning to do, we still need to have some committee to finalise the details, is to actually make sure that every year this award is given to someone different, to someone new, so that no person can actually receive the award for more than once, 2 years in a row. And the idea to do that is because if someone wants to volunteer and thinks that if I volunteer I'm going to get something out of this every year, it's going to take away from the idea of what the whole purpose of the award is, which is to encourage everybody, not just 1 or 2 or 3 people or whatever, to volunteer, but to encourage as many as possible, so that everyone then feels that they'll have an opportunity, that the person who maybe won the award this year because they did so much work is not going to win it again next year. Someone new will win that award, and it will encourage them hopefully to actually do some volunteering in their community. At 19 years of age, I came out to Australia to live permanently. I'd come out first of all when I was 7, and we came out as part of our travelling through life, and then came out again when I was 11. And like any, don't want to talk about my age again, but like any young person, was taken away from their friends. And I didn't want to stay in Australia. I hated Australia. I wanted to go back home. And so at the age of 17 I did. But then I unfortunately lost a family member. Came out here at 19, as I said, for a funeral. And without being told I had to be here, I fell in love with Australia. And since then I've made this place my home. I've been here now for 33 years. I've given birth to 2 Australians. I've married an Australian. Celebrating my 25th anniversary in 55 days' time, which is quite an achievement nowadays. And I plan to spend the rest of my life here. I joined the police force in 1984, so I've done a bit of community service in that respect as well. That was an eye-opener. And that certainly was one way of bringing me out of my shell. I stood up for the very first time and spoke, not just in front of a small room like tonight, but the first time I ever stood up and spoke in front of a crowd that is 2,500 of my colleagues. That was very, very daunting. So, as you can see, the humble beginnings of a very quiet, shy and timid young girl can turn into this. So all I can say is, God help you all.